they were saying, you know, this is battery was the word they used in that moment. They said, we will go get him. We are prepared. We're prepared to get him right now. And Chris he was being very dismissive of those options. He was like, no, I'm fine. He was like, no.
And now what's fascinating is Chris Rock has got all of the leverage, all the leverage in this situation. Welcome back to Wake Up America. I'm Rob Finnerty with Allison Maloney. That was Academy Awards producer Will Parker speaking on ABC about the Chris Rock assault to Will Smith at the Oscars on Sunday night. We're now hearing reports that the Academy lied about asking Will Smith to leave after that slap heard around the world took place.
Yeah, the story keeps going. Here to talk about the fallout, a celebrity publicist and the host of the Naughty But Nice podcast and author of the 4-word answer, Rob Shooter.
Another Rob.
Another Rob. Newsmax loves our Robs here.
How many Robs on one couch?
Yes.
Right?
Hello.
Okay.
How are you?
Rob,
Very
this
good,
story
good to see you.
keeps going. What are you hearing?
It does. I think that the reason this story keeps going is that now it's he said, she said what really happened. It was chaos backstage. So when this happened, nobody was prepared for this. It was a live TV show, lots of different people making decisions in a control room. You know, it's really hard, at least in my job, to find 5 people that can agree on what to get for lunch.
Right.
I can't imagine making this decision in a spur of the moment. So some people wanted him kicked out, some people did not, and that's where the story.
Did the Academy ask him to leave?
People who work for the Academy wanted him out. I believe that they went to the producers of the show and said to them, we don't think this is good, and the producers did not pass on that message.
So nobody went up to Will Smith and said, you got to go.
Nobody went up
we
to
know
Will
that
Smith.
the LAPD was there.
They were there.
They were willing to go in and drag him out.
They were willing to drag him out. But also, too, and I've worked with celebrities. Celebrities have this massive sort of bubble around them. So they wouldn't go up to Will. They'd talk to his people, his publicists. Those conversations happened backstage. Nobody had the chutzpah to tell Will that. So I don't think he was asked to leave. I don't think he said no, but those conversations were not
Just didn't
lies.
even get to
It just
him,
didn't get
probably.
translated.
Allison and I were talking about this. Imagine the optics, too, by the way, if, let's say, 2 white police officers dragged Will Smith out.
Whoopi
that
Goldberg.
would be the story.
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg
right?
talked about this on live TV. Because what do you do? Think about it. If you're not going to leave, just in your own life, if you want someone to leave your dinner party, you say leave, and hopefully they go. If somebody says no, what do? Were you prepared to have him dragged out? I don't think anybody wanted that.
Yeah, let's talk about now what we're seeing. This new headline, this New York Post headline says new video shows Jada Pinkett Smith is laughing after Will slapped Chris Rock. Okay, so we were talking about this earlier. When something like that happens, it's not expected. People react differently.
Yeah.
So you're looking at all different angles of the cameras, and he said, she said.
Allison, my wife would be mortified.
But some people react though in a different way, right?
Like Kamala Harris cackle?
It could be a nervous
so what do
laughter.
you
I see what you
think?
say. I mean, it could be a nervous laughter. The thing is, they did this in a room that had over 40 cameras in it, and also to everybody had a cell phone.
Sure.
So I saw the video, I looked at it a lot. It looks to me as if Jada's enjoying this. Like, I think she thinks it's funny. In that moment, Will and Jada felt really, really good. They had no remorse. They felt good. And then the people in the room confirmed that by applauding and laughing.
Standing
that
ovation.
Moment,
They
that
gave
moment,
Will Smith a standing ovation.
That moment, he was the king.
Right.
Then the pendulum started to swing overnight. He went to bed that night feeling really good. I had reporters, people in the Vanity Fair party, got a standing ovation. They did a portrait of him.
Chris Rock.
No, Will
Smith
Smith. Will
did.
Smith went to Vanity Fair, got a standing ovation. Vanity Fair did a portrait of him and his family.
This is a portrait
They
of
were
where we are as a
all-
culture right now.
Yeah,
Look at this.
all
Get
excited.
jiggy with it.
That's where he
Does
is.
he give back the Oscar?
I think if I was his publicist, I would advise him, give back this Oscar. Take control. This is such a mess. You've embarrassed the Academy once. Don't embarrass them again by making them take this off you. Hand it back.
Do we see something lame last year? Sorry, Allison. Do we see something lame next year? Do we see Chris Rock and Will Smith, hosting the Oscars or presenting an award together? I don't think Chris Rock says yes to that.
You say lame, I say delicious. I would love them to present.
it would be great for ratings.
I'd watch that. Chris Rock is not going to do this.
Right.
Chris Rock is not really playing along. I'm told that Will Smith's people would love for Will and Chris to go for drinks, go out for dinner.
Never.
There'd be a pap there. Chris won't do it.
Because Chris had his comedy show in Boston the other night, and he said, look, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just processing this. How do you think he's handling it from a publicist standpoint?
He's a really disciplined comedian, and what you see on stage, we think he just makes it up as he goes along. He writes those jokes and that set for months and months. So he has a new set. He did his set. He had to address it at the top. He's not talking about this yet. He's not. And the longer he doesn't, the more powerful, the more valuable his story becomes. He will talk about this at some point, and probably on an NBC
special. Should
special.
Will come out and talk?
A Newsmax special.
A Newsmax
Chris
special.
Rock's going to be right here in house on Wake Up America.
do that.
Yeah. Should Will come out and do something?
Will
should he do
absolutely.
interviews?
Stay in silence. Celebrities do this a lot. They hide, they run away. The problem ain't going anywhere. It's only going to get bigger. Will, you should sit down and say sorry only if you mean it. And I'm not sure he's there yet.
Final question, 10 seconds. Are you surprised? Wilbur Theater, 6 shows, City of Boston, you just mentioned it. Are you surprised Chris Rock didn't really mention it at all besides saying, how was your weekend? He didn't say anything.
I think he's just really handling this well. It's making himself even more powerful. Everybody's going. I'm going to the show tomorrow. Ooh. It's sold out, the entire tour.
You're going?
It's sold out. I'm going. Do you want to come?
Can we
Bring
come
the cell
with
phone.
you?
I will go.
Okay.
I will go with
okay,
you.
plus
See,
one.
hear that music, by the way? That's the Oscars music. They play that when we're out of time. So
There you
perfect
go.
timing on that. Rob Scherer, always a pleasure.
Good to see you,
Safe
bud.
journey to Boston. We'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.